Air travel is a melting pot of human quirks, emotions, and unexpected moments, and no one sees it all quite like flight attendants. They're the ultimate observers of human behavior, balancing the chaos of the skies with a smile, a firm hand, and a knack for handling the unpredictable. From the mundane to the downright bizarre, flight attendants witness the full spectrum of passenger personalities, navigating challenges that range from heartwarming to hair-raising. Their job isn't just about serving drinks or pointing out emergency exits. It's about managing a flying circus at 30,000 feet. Buckle up as we dive into the wildest passenger encounters shared by a seasoned crew, revealing the stories that'll make you laugh, cringe, and marvel at the resilience of those who keep the skies friendly. Our story begins with 3 flight attendants who've seen it all over their combined 45 years in the air. First up is Linda Carter, a 52-year-old veteran with 20 years at a major U.S. airline. Linda's the no-nonsense type. Think of her as the sky mom who can spot trouble brewing from row 1 to 35. Her sharp eyes and quick wit have diffused countless situations, and she's got a laugh that can lighten even the tensest moments. Next, there's Marcus Tate, 38, with 15 years of experience. Marcus is the charmer of the crew, a former college basketball player turned flight attendant who uses his easygoing vibe to calm even the most irate passengers. Finally, we have Priya Sharma, 34, with 10 years under her belt. Priya's the empathetic one, always ready with a kind word or a clever solution, her calm demeanor a balm for frazzled travelers. Picture them in their crisp Navy uniforms, the hum of a Boeing 737 cabin around them as they prepare for a red-eye flight from Chicago to Los Angeles. The airport is buzzing, O'Hare International at its peak, with travelers rushing through terminals, announcements crackling overhead, and the faint scent of jet fuel in the air. Linda adjusts her scarf, Marcus checks the galley supplies, and Priya greets passengers with a warm smile as they board. This crew knows their stuff, and they've got the stories to prove it. Let's take a peek into the wildest passenger encounters they've faced, from the strange to the downright outrageous. Unveiling the bizarre. Passenger requests. Flight attendants are used to requests, gluten-free meals, extra pillows, a window seat swap, but some demands leave even the most seasoned crew scratching their heads. Linda kicks things off with a story from a flight to Miami a few years back. This guy in a 3-piece suit, probably a lawyer, flags me down mid-flight, she recalls, chuckling. He asks if we have any caviar on board. I'm thinking, sir, this is a domestic flight, not a private jet. But he's dead serious, says he needs it for his pre-meeting ritual. I offered him pretzels instead, and let's just say he wasn't thrilled. Linda managed to smooth things over with a complimentary drink, but the man spent the rest of the flight muttering about subpar service. Marcus jumps in with his own tale, his eyes lighting up with mischief. On a flight to Dallas, I had a woman in first class who insisted I find her a pair of fuzzy socks. Her feet were cold, and apparently, the blanket wasn't enough. We don't carry socks, but she wouldn't take no for an answer. So, I got creative. Marcus grabbed a pair of disposable slippers from the crew's emergency kit, wrapped them in a warm towel, and presented them to her like a 5-star hotel amenity. She loved it, he says, grinning, tipped me $20, and called me her in-flight hero. Priya's story takes a sweeter turn. On a packed flight to Seattle, a young mom approached her, near tears, asking if there was any way to get a birthday cake for her son's 5th birthday. They were flying to visit family, and she'd forgotten to pack one. We didn't have cake, obviously, Priya says, but I wasn't going to let that kid miss out. She rallied the galley team, stacked some snack cakes into a mini cake, and used a spare candle from the crew's personal stash. The passengers around them joined in singing Happy Birthday, and the mom cried happy tears. It's moments like that, Priya adds, that remind me why I love this job. These quirky requests are just the tip of the iceberg. As the crew shares a laugh, Linda's expression shifts. Those are the fun ones, she says, lowering her voice. But some passengers take things to a whole other level. Beyond the ordinary, outrageous behavior. Not every passenger interaction is a feel-good story. Sometimes flight attendants face behavior that tests their professionalism and their patience. Marcus leans in, his tone more serious now. I'll never forget this one guy on a flight from New York to Denver, he says. Big guy, probably 6 feet 4 inches, already tipsy when he boarded. Halfway through the flight, he starts yelling about how the plane's Wi-Fi is a government conspiracy to track him. He's standing in the aisle, waving his phone, shouting that we're all in on it. Marcus tried to calm him down, using his charm to redirect the man's focus, but he wouldn't budge. I had to get the captain involved, Marcus admits. We ended up diverting to Chicago to remove him. Safety first, always. Linda nods, her face grim. She shares a story from a flight to Las Vegas that still gives her chills. We had a passenger, a middle-aged woman, who decided mid-flight that she needed to do yoga in the aisle. I'm talking full-on downward dog, blocking the path during beverage service. I asked her to return to her seat, but she snapped at me saying, "I paid for this flight. I can stretch where I want." The situation escalated when another passenger tripped over her, spilling coffee everywhere. Linda had to physically guide the woman back to her seat, all while maintaining her composure. She called me a tyrant the whole way, Linda says, shaking her head. But you can't let that stuff get to you. You've got 150 other people to keep safe. Priya's story adds a humorous twist to the chaos. On a flight to Miami, she encountered a passenger who'd clearly had too much to drink at the airport bar. He was in row 12, and he decides he's going to serenade the entire plane with Sweet Caroline, she says, laughing. He's belting it out, standing on his seat, trying to get everyone to sing along. A few people clapped, but most were annoyed. It's a red eye, people are trying to sleep. Priya approached him with a gentle smile, offering a glass of water and a quiet word. I told him he had a great voice, but maybe he could save it for karaoke night. He actually listened, thank goodness, and passed out 5 minutes later. The cabin erupted in quiet cheers as peace was restored. These stories highlight the delicate balance flight attendants strike, keeping the plane safe while handling passengers who range from disruptive to downright absurd. But as Priya points out, you never know what you're going to get. That's what keeps the job interesting. The final takeaway: insights and reflections. As the flight from Chicago to Los Angeles touches down, Linda, Marcus, and Priya reflect on their experiences. Air travel, they agree, is a microcosm of humanity, unpredictable, messy, and sometimes magical. You see people at their best and their worst, Linda says. The guy who yells about Wi-Fi might be the same one who helps an elderly passenger with their bag. You learn to take it all in stride. Marcus adds, it's taught me patience I didn't know I had, and how to laugh at the absurd. Priya smiles softly. For me, it's about the little wins, like making a kid's birthday special or turning a bad moment into a good one. Their stories remind us that flight attendants are more than just service staff. They're problem solvers, mediators, and sometimes even entertainers, all while ensuring our safety in the skies. The next time you board a plane, take a moment to appreciate the crew who've likely seen and handled more than you can imagine. We'd love to hear your own wild travel stories. Drop them in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. From the caviar demands to the mid-flight serenades, these flight attendants prove that life at 30,000 feet is never dull. Here's to the unsung heroes of the skies who navigate every challenge with grace, humor, and a whole lot of resilience.